All right, this is recording 643. I'm starting this recording off. I'm going to report some crimes that Jean committed and tell you what else Jean, and I'm talking about Jean Jernigan Roberts. I'm like 643 recordings in. Jean swears to God, to everybody, that she's not who she is, and she swears that she's me, and she's not. And she's still doing her same shtick as usual. Before I started recording just now, she goes, "Christina, we warned you." And then something else I want to point out, the Jean Roberts and her cult yesterday, they said, "Buck up." And I'll tell you what that goes to in a minute. So last night, for the last 2 nights, I got woke up like about 2 o'clock in the morning. I wake up and she's in my brain with her sickos, and they're on they're just having a good time, if you know what I'm saying. So this morning I get up and I'm like, then I go outside to smoke a cigarette, and then I go back to sleep, and she's still on, but I'm like, I got her tuned out, and she's trying to keep me awake so her and her friends can have their play date, if you will, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so I'm trying to ignore them, and then I get up for work, and she is literally controlling the sprinkler systems, and when people pull in and out of their driveways in my neighborhood, and she's making the sound effect sound like her and her friends releasing themselves, if you know what I'm saying. And I know this is vulgar, and I know I'm about to report crimes that Jean has committed, but this goes hand in hand. Jean is a trafficker. She is an abuser of all ages, and nonstop, her and her sickos are pushing their agenda, and it's 24 hours a day, and they make money at it, and they get people to donate money and give them money. They lie to them. They give them a elevator speech, a big old sob story act full of drama and all this crap. I mean, just a whole bunch of lies, which you guys already know by listening to my recordings. Jean is full of it. And they sucker people in, and they take their money, and they go make even more money, and they commit more terrorism. So I'm going to go to the terror attacks that she committed just recently. So anyway, okay, so, all right. The first one is 3 killed, at least 8 injured when gunman on a boat opens fire on a crowd at a waterfront bar in North Carolina, officials say. So you can tell by the numbers 3 and 8, obviously 38. Also, North Carolina, she's got a new fixation on North Carolina. So it's something new that she's trying to heavily syrup. You know how she gets her little cliche or Charles Manson knick-knack, and now everybody, we're gonna do this stunt, and it's like she plants like little stunts and little kicks off of little cliche words and phrases, like little terrorism challenges, only she plans the terrorism and executes it. Okay, so anyway, so this is her new thing, and the North Carolina is based off of her wanting to destroy my ability or my being able to, in the past, communicate with people from North Carolina that I think I don't know if they were in Annapolis or in Blackwater, or I don't know where they were. It was someone in intelligence over there. I think it was Blackwater. But anyway, back when Jean had just made this announcement in my brain and mental telepathy to all the people that were on, that she had just bought the state of California. And you're going to have to go through all my recordings to see what that means. I already went through all the states. I already went through what all of it means. I told you Jean's lying a bull to cover it up, like anybody'd believe that anyway. I mean, the bitch is psychotic, but you're gonna have to go through my recordings. So anyway, they were talking about states that she is banned from going into, okay? And so people were like, she can't go here, she can't go here, she can't go here. No, they're talking about you, Jean Jernigan Roberts. They know who you are. She's like, that's you. Okay, so Christina, we know that you have a psychopath stalking you. We know that Jean Roberts is a psycho. Christina Stacia, we know that she's a psycho. Not Christina isn't a psycho. Christina has mental telepathy. People talk through her mouth. It's weird, but it's real. And there's idiot freaking terrorists that do every damn dumb thing that Jean tells them to do, that talk through Christina's mouth. And then on rare occasions, people will talk through Christina's mouth, but she's hijacked a lot of the connections. So, but anyway, so North Carolina, so this is like a revenge attack, because they said, this is about 3 years ago, they said they're talking about whether Jean can go to Washington, D.C., Jean Roberts, and they said not unless she's in handcuffs. And you're going to have to go through my first 15 recordings, and this is around the same time period. And then they said, I mean, Jean's gotten away with a lot of crap since then, but I imagine we're back to square one, not unless Jean Roberts is in handcuffs. So anyway, and then someone said, well, what about North Carolina? And because there were different states that were like, Jean can't, like Louisiana said that Jean cannot be in Louisiana at all. She needs to get out. They know she owns a lot of property there. She needs to let go of anything she owns there. It doesn't belong to her anymore. It belongs to the state of Louisiana, and to get her freaking ass out and get her ass back to Milton, Florida. They gave her that warning 3 years ago. Now, since then, Jean has built up this thing in Tulsa, making people believe that Louisiana just worships and drools over the ground she walks on. And that's not the case at all. So anyway, North Carolina said, they said, well, North Carolina was on. They're like, what about you? And they're like, they said, be our guest. Make one attempt to come into our state. Be our guest, is what they said. So this is a revenge attack on that. Now, also, I'm seeing the update on it that a Marine was charged, and I can tell by reading through the story that she has made him do that under order. I can tell. So again, she's giving people orders to do stuff, and she's using AI on people. So anyway, so let me go to the article. There wasn't anything, there wasn't anything new there, except, I mean, obviously note the American Fish Company. Obviously note her obsession with everything South. Okay, so I lived in South Point. There's a South Point car dealership here in Tulsa that she pointed my eyes to one day on my way home. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You've been stalking me my whole life. Like, what are you in, like, some deal with South Point or something? So anyway, she's wanting me to go, and I just ignore her. I just turn her in. You commit a crime, Jean, I'll turn you in. Then her obsession with, there's a Marine, in Slidell on Pontchartrain. There's a Marine restaurant there. It's really, really cool. When I was in the middle of decoding everything when I lived in Slidell, it would still be this way for me today. Just, I mean, I was trying hard not to bawl my eyes out. But anyway, so that's called Southside Cafe. And then also Kanye West. She knows I lived in North Chicago. She knows I know Kanye West is from South Chicago. She knows I know she's been stalking Kanye West. And she knows that I have Kanye West on my playlist now, Scorpio 71. She's underground telling people that my playlist is hers. Like, she's literally pretending to be me underground. And she's literally, like, tearing the heck out of, like, music. But I already went through all that recording with you guys. You guys already know that. So, anyway, she's doing, and see, this is South Point, North Carolina. So, she's covering all of that, what you just said. Okay, so she definitely committed this crime. And it's all syrup, you can tell. And then also, the suspect is Nigel Edge. Okay, so you can tell by his name. And also, he has a Purple Heart. Jean is very, 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 very obsessed. I told you in previous recordings, very obsessed with military who have Purple Hearts. She has been for 9 years. I told you she seeks to manipulate and con certain groups of people in the military. Okay, really young and vulnerable, a lot of energy to burn and want to blow a lot of things up, and like you're young and you're okay, that audience of people. And then older people, because she wants to play at your heartstrings. So people that are in the middle, like I told you, people that are middle-aged in the military, whether they're active duty or not active duty, they're less prone. I've seen some people still be conned by her and sucked into her stuff, but they're less prone, like they catch on real quick. They're like, no. Anyway, so the military has really got to be like, I know that Pete Hegseth just had a meeting with all of the Marine generals, but I mean, just to reach every city, to reach all military as fast as humanly possible, to stop helping Jean Roberts. She is the perp. She is the enemy. She's got a huge Manson occult. And I mean, if for nothing else, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't let her take advantage of and hurt people like that. But I know you know that. You would know that before I would know that. I mean, I got to walk through. I'm sorry, she's controlling. Just continue on, because she's controlling your speech. Remember what you said? Heartstrings on. That's what she's trying to do to your mouth right now as you talk. And it's pissing me off. And I want to just, like, I don't know, fly from another planet to where Jean's location is and annihilate her. No, like, I mean, seriously, no life. Like, annihilate you, Jean. So, anyway... and then note was on September, and then note the 25, and then note the 28, and then note the waterfront. Okay, so there's that crime. And then also two regional Delta jets collide at LaGuardia Airport with the wing slamming into a cockpit window. Okay, so see all code on Delta. Remember I told you she used Delta Airlines, and I gave you all the evidence for it in the previous recordings. She used Delta Airlines in her planning to do the World Trade Center attack, and she also did the LaGuardia bombings. Okay, so this one, and then it's two regional Delta jets, and then she has a wing slamming into a cockpit window. So she literally did the World Trade Center attack. And she's literally acting like she's not 77 years old, and she's literally acting like she's a 20-something with no brain in her freaking head. And she's saying C-wing or C-O-W. She's saying cow wing, like cow ring, like Cook, Oshner, Wilson ring. She's trying to blame my family, and she's trying to act stupid and look stupid as fuck doing it, is what she's doing. And then look at the initials DJ. What are you proud? Are you a proud music annihilator, Gene? I mean, how many more artists are you going to force to moan and groan in music for you? Are you proud to have gotten away with what you've gotten away with, and the lies and the sickness and the filth and the death that you've caused? Anyway, okay, so the next one is, wait a minute, let me go back to that one to see if there was anything else. The LaGuardia, the low speed collision, I know you got that. The 900 regional jets, I know you got that. She's got then the 5047 flight, I know you figured out the numbers on that. The 5155, and then those match each other. I know you figured out that. And then Roanoke, Virginia, she's probably using virtual reality. Which, you know who sings that? Jamiroquai, which would be my family's name. And then the flight from Charlotte. So then again, here we're going with North Carolina again, and then had 57 passengers on board. So she committed this crime, and again, she's using my family's name. And for some reason right now, she's blushing my face. That's because she lied to somebody about committing this crime. And she's caught, and so she's trying to blush her face because she's trying to pretend like she's you or you're her or whatever. She always blushes my face whenever she gets caught. I mean, she's offline to someone somewhere, but she committed this crime. She's using my family's name. So then the next one is two killed in terrorist stabbing at UK synagogue, 3 in custody. Okay, so this was a UK synagogue. Okay, it was at Heaton Park, Hebrew. So I know someone pointed out to me that she used Patricia Heaton from Everybody Loves Raymond. There's a special coming up on Everybody Loves Raymond. She's like obsessed with Everybody Loves Raymond because I loved Everybody Loves Raymond. So out of stalking me, she committed this crime also. And she's pretending to be not herself. And she's pretending to be, and she was doing it to me literally as I was like figuring this out. And she's literally pretending to be people that she's not, committing this, and she committed this crime. Now it's confusing here. No, it's because it is two different people, but one, it's Ackright and Gene Roberts is who it is. And Ackright, who was talking to you, was like playing, like he was playing both sides. He does that with Gene. So that's Ackright and Gene that committed this crime. Well, and then she used Melissa Manchester, and then you know me, M-E, the pronoun me is one of her aliases, and then CL code Yom Kippur. And then also something else she used was Patty Hearst. And then it's a knife attack. And then she, in this paragraph where it says the 35-year-old Jihad al-Shami, a British citizen of Syrian descent, police said he was wearing a vest with the appearance of an explosive device. Police said, adding later that the vest was deemed not to be viable. So she's using Spanish, okay, and she's saying vestido is what she's saying. And she's trying to talk in sideways language or sideways talk. And she's trying to speak she's trying to speak proper. And she's trying to clear up a lie that she said, not caring that she murdered people, is what's going on here. So, anyway, so she committed this crime. Also notes in Crumpsall, Manchester, England. Also, you should know Crump. That is a southern. Well, you know what Crump. You know what crumps are, or crumpets. Okay, because this is English, right? So okay, in America, crump, or no, it's crunk, not crump. Crunk. That's what she's using, is crunk. Crunk is a style of southern hip hop dancing, is what she's making a reference to here. Gene Roberts committed this crime. Gene Jernigan Roberts. Okay, so then carrying on here, I'm continuing on. So I want to go back to 2016. So 2016 was the year, this was 2017. So 2016 was the year I split up with my last husband, Ben. Okay, so in 2017, it had been a year later, I lived at a house on 32nd in Tulsa. Okay, I ended up going into rehab. I had a suicide attempt. I ended up going to rehab. She was really screwing with my life. She was screwing with my ex-husband. She was screwing with my friends. She was having the time of her life. Okay. So here's more connection points at what she did. Okay. So it was about a year or so after that. I told you in previous recordings, she spawned a tornado in Tulsa, and it landed near my house on 32nd Street in that area. And around that, and it was in 2017. Anyway, I had my first husband watching my two dogs. I used to have two little miniature schnauzers named Holly and Daisy. Okay, so Daisy got out, okay, and she got lost. And I freaked and I was panicked. I was ballistic. I was looking for her everywhere. Okay, she was out all night. A tornado hit, and I had no idea that Gene had spawned the tornado at the time and was referring to Daisy as Toto and using the Wizard of Oz theme. So anyway, I finally found her and I got her back. But this is more connection points to this. So when I got to Slidell to go stay with my dad, okay, that was like another year after that or something. We were in his room, me and Gene and my dad. And my dad was like doing something, I don't know what he was doing. And he doesn't ever talk. He just pretty much, he talks, but he pretty much just like grumbles. Rah, rah, rah. And then Jean said something, and she was being cute, and she was snickering. She was being real snickery. And she said something about his cat, him throwing his cat against the wall. He used to have a cat. His cat was as mean as he could be. Red, but he was a good cat, but she ice ripped the heck out of that cat. It was horrible. But she took the cat's life too. She took his dog's life, Pepper. She took Red's life, and then I bet you he didn't even realize till later she even named his pets Red Pepper. She was stalking the ever-living heck out of him before she even hooked up with them, but I know he knows that now. But anyway, so she said something about it, and then she was like, oh, well, ha, ha, ha. People just have to get over it. And she started like snickering and laughing, and I'm like looking at her like, okay, that was the odd thing you just said, Because, like, and I'm sorry, Dad, but I gotta be telling on this bitch. I would never freaking just expose anything like this. I mean, this is just like, I gotta tell on her. She needs to be arrested. She's a goddamn terrorist and trafficker. So anyway, I'm like, why are you freaking, like, airing his business about throwing a cat against the freaking wall, first of all? And why are you, like, so, like, super cash and ha-ha about it? Like, the whole thing is, like, fishy odd to me. Like, what are you fucking up to? I'm just looking at her like... People see your face expressions all the time, Christine. I'm sorry. They're not loud. They're just laughing because they see Christina's face. Like, because I'm like, why are you, like, what are you up to? So anyway, so she's snickering and she's laughing, and I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this conversation, but I'm stuck standing here. I don't want to even, like, acknowledge you. I don't want to say anything in return. Like, what do you do? So I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Most of the time I was just like, what is this coming out of your mouth? Like, who are you? So anyway, she was doing that on purpose. So, okay, so him throwing the cat against the wall, she eyes raped him. So that's a reference to her convincing him to, like, beat me up for her, calling me a cat. She's supposed to call me a cat. No, she's the cat. So anyway, and the whole world knows it. They know you run a cat house of the United States of America, which you should not be. You should be removed out of that position everywhere. And they know you are your own defined definition of cat that you use, Jean. But everybody ignores it because everybody's not going to be traumatized by you and your little terrorization of definitions of animals and colors and numbers and different articles of clothes. I mean, what haven't you tore the hell out of? So anyway, Jean lives in her white world, and she thinks that the whole planet just is like, let's just do and live, and everything is just the world according to what Jean says. No, that's not the way the world operates, Jean. So I ignore Jean completely. But anyway, so there's that. But here's something else that also connects to. Okay, so back when I was in Tulsa on 32nd Street, when I went into rehab or into the hospital, okay, I was told, okay, and I was told this when I lived in Slidell, and she did not deny it. I was told this in mental telepathy, and she did not deny it. So I know that she did it, and she knows I know that she did it. So she got it. She was here in town in Tulsa when I was out, and she threw Daisy, my miniature schnauzer, against the wall. She threw her into the wall. So by the time she did it on purpose. So by the time I get to Slidell, now fast forward, I'm standing there, and she's bringing up this weird conversation about my dad throwing the cat against the wall, and oh well, people just get over it. And then she snickers at me. And at that point, I'm realizing that I don't even know if I realized at that point that she had thrown Daisy against the wall, or if it was later. I can't remember. Well, I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. I don't know in that one. But because I was looking at her like, but if it had to be after. Because I would have hauled off and knocked the shit out of her. So, which I about did, I already told you, over Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, I was like ready to freak. I mean, I about ready not. Oh my God, I was so close to freaking hitting her. I swear to God. So anyway, she's like messing with my throat right now, like making my throat quiver or whatever. Well, maybe stop abusing my body, Jean. She thinks she's funny. I don't know what she thinks she's getting away with there. She's got jokes about Adam apples is what she's doing in my brain. She's fucking disgusting. I'm sorry for the cursing. I know I'm reporting crimes in this recording. I'm sorry for the cursing, but this is the psychopath that has been committing terrorism. So anyway, okay, so she threw Daisy against the wall. She did all kinds of weird stuff in my house. I would go to Dallas and I would come back and all kinds of shit. I would have stuff missing. And I know Russell was doing it too. Russell was helping her. I would have stuff missing. I'd have everything would be rearranged. I would have stuff that had stuff missing. My furniture was destroyed. Like, it was just chaotic. Okay, so one time I came back and there was barbecue sauce squirted on the hallway on the wall. Okay, so anyway, so this is how this all connects together. So her doing that, okay, so Daisy, I don't even know how to explain all this. There's so much here. Okay, so she literally tells on herself, okay? Remember I told you I decoded her I Love Me Some Drum Major wine bottle, where she bragged about having multiple husbands, and she was saying that Jeff Cook, my stepdad, was also one of her husbands. She bragged about doing Hurricane Katrina. She bragged about ousting Ray Nagin, setting him up. She bragged about ousting the FEMA director at the time. She bragged about being the leader of Charles Manson. She bragged about trafficking her grandchildren. It was like this big bunch of decoded demonic cipher that I decoded. That's on that's her wine bottle that she made. Okay, so a part of the Hurricane Katrina decode was I decoded out a part of it, and the Hurricane Katrina, I would say, was probably like, I don't know, like a half a page, and then maybe like another full page, maybe another page and a half. So part of it, that the ciphers that are coming out of it, she's saying that it's raining cats and dogs. She's making references to drumsticks. She's making references to chicken and drumsticks. And then she's like, it's like she's got all kinds of stuff in it. So everybody that saw the ciphers that I decoded that are hers, these are her ciphers. She did Hurricane Katrina. They saw all this, and they've been holding it in the entire time. I'm telling you, there is nobody in Louisiana, probably now around the world, probably a lot of people, but for 9 years now, there's no one in Louisiana that doesn't know that Gene Roberts did Hurricane Katrina. They saw the decoded ciphers I did. They saw me bawling at work, walking past huge pictures of the reconstruction. They saw me conversations still come up in my brain about different parts of the different ciphers. And people are just like, they're still angry they're angry. They're waiting for her to be arrested. There are people that want to kill her. And she runs around and acting like she is just the best friend to everybody in the planet. And that's not the case. So anyway, the drumsticks, okay, that goes to her drum major wine bottle. Then that also goes to the barbecue sauce on the wall. So barbecued chicken is what she's doing there. So she's probably also doing Wall Cloud is probably what she's doing. And she's probably doing Charlie Brown, Charles Manson. So then, okay, so back to Daisy. Okay, so when I lost Daisy, when it looks like from all appearances that she got out accidentally, but really Gene Roberts used artificial intelligence on my family and Daisy, and she got her loose, because I loved the heck out of Daisy. I love Daisy and Holly both, but Daisy was like, I was really close to Daisy, and Ben was really, really close to Holly. So anyway, so I was crying and upset, and I was at my first husband's house, and I was like freaking out, and I'm like, I can't go in. I'm going to sit in this street. I'm just going to sit in this street all night long and keep calling for her. And he was like, you can't do that. That's insane. You can't sit in the street waiting for Daisy to come back. She's lost. You need to go in. You got to get sense. And so I'm like crying and upset. And he goes, don't you think I understand what it's like to lose a dog? I lost Nala. That goes to this. He had a Rottweiler named Nala. Nola is a nickname for New Orleans, Louisiana. So she lost his dog also, Gene Roberts. That's what happened to Nala. Gene Roberts took Nala's life. She also did that to Anthony's dog. He had a really big, I don't even remember what kind of dog that was. And I swear I saw him, but I'm like, is that him? And Anthony's like, no, that's not him. And it made me so sad. But anyway, so that's what happened to Nala. So that goes, so all of this connects together. And Gene's just is like, just standing in my dad's room, ha, 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 ha. Okay. Then another thing she did is like bizarre things that happened at my house when I'd come back and everything was destroyed. Okay, I had a brand new couch and love seat. Okay, she sliced open my couch cushions, the back of them, the parts that you lean on. She literally sliced from one end to the other till the foam or the cotton or whatever was coming out of it. And I was like, who sliced open my couches? And nobody knew anything was going on. I don't know what you're talking about. They're literally sliced open. Okay, so that goes to, she's matching that to me being 3 years old at Sergio and my mom's house, okay, in Tucson, when I busted open the bean bag. So she's doing AIW. See, this is a game of hers. So you broke a bean bag when you were 3 years old, so I'm going to gouge your couch in. She does that kind of shit all the time. So anyway, you can tell that she did it because the beanbag was orange. The couch was like an avocado green or like a khaki green, which those were the colors of the 70s. So then she connects the couch, and she knows I'm going to figure this out later. She connects the couch to my mom and Jeff's couch when I was a little bit older in grade school in Globe, when they had the white sofa that they got from my Aunt Susan. And he cut it in half because it was too big to fit in the living room. And then I decoded out all the decode that goes around the white sofa. And I find out that Gene Roberts is the leader of Charles Manson. And it goes to the White Album. And it goes on and on and on. And her wanting to do 9/11. There's so much to it. It's insane. Whenever I see anything white sofa, I know instantly it's Gene Roberts. It was, she used AI on my stepdad, Jeff, to cut the couch in half, because he was just trying to cut the couch because the couch wouldn't fit in the living room. It was the biggest couch we'd ever seen in our life. It was representative of her planning to crash the United States government in the future. It was also her planning to do the World Trade Center attack. It's a big bunch of decoded ciphers that I did. And then no, my aunt's name is Susan, who is also not my Aunt Susan, not Susan Cook. I also have Mario has an Aunt Susan. They're like, oh my God, this is insane. Susan Atkins is the name of someone in Charles Manson, which is someone that helped Gene Roberts get away with all of his crime. Just like Aunt Susan sold Amway, that goes to Susan Atkins. She was using AI on Aunt Susan. And then Amway, American Way, they're planning to crash the government in the future. So anyway, so she did that too. And then also when they said buckle up or buck up or buckle up, that goes to the synagogue attack. Because in my brain, someone was popping off at them that committed that crime. And then they also they're trying to act like they didn't commit the crime. You guys did commit the crime. You guys all work together. They already explained to me your whole little layout, your little layer of criminal activity. From terrorism to trafficking to racketing. Anyway, someone said Buck Owens. They called one of these country guys that are up Gene Roberts' butt, Buck Owens, and then he goes, "You better buckle up," yelling at me. So they both know that goes to the UK synagogue attack. And that's another thing I forgot to mention. She's making a reference to Union Bay jeans. So then she'd be saying San Francisco. So then she'd be saying Hyde-Ashbury. She'd be saying Charles Manson. So they're all bragging about being in Charles Manson. And then also I'm going to... Oh yeah, something else about this. So also, Toto, okay, going back to the hurricane, okay. Toto was a band that sang the song Africa, and it's on my playlist. I love it. And I mean, I love it. I'm like, that song makes me cry. Ever since I found out everything of like decoding all these years in the past and in the future. And then like I love the video. The only thing I would do is Gene Roberts literally tried to steal this from me. Literally in my brain tried to steal from me. And her little mic choppers are like in my brain. I was like, you people are fucking stupid. Anyway, I'm like, the video like makes me cry. The words make me cry. So anyway, the only part I would change in the video is like putting out the fire on those books. But I mean, the whole thing just makes me cry. But anyway, so she was saying not only with Daisy, because remember now Daisy and Nala are connected to Katrina. Because Gene Roberts Gene Roberts attacked our animals, and Gene Roberts did Hurricane Katrina. She was referring to Daisy as Toto. She was making an Africa reference. So she was referencing Hurricane Katrina. Because, and I know that for a fact because when I first got there, I was learning about the storms and stuff. Everybody was just visiting and talking. And they were saying that the storms, the hurricanes that come into the Gulf, storm in from the coast of storm in from the coast of Africa. Well, she hears every conversation. She controls every conversation. She's trying to cover her ass by controlling speech of really, really, really good people, just talking about like how weather phenomena forms or whatever. And she's literally trying to cover her ass by creating that artificial conversation, which is a real conversation. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know. She was trying to cover her ass. She was trying to cover her ass and pass the buck. And that's not true. Because if people had that kind of power, Ku Klux Klan, do you think there would be any droughts? Just talking to Gene in Milton, Florida. They're not. I've got all kinds of people controlling me, like right now, like moving my eyes on, like giving me dirty looks. Just because Gene is lying to someone somehow about you. Anyway, so that goes to that. So she did that too with Toto Africa. Then there's more here. I think I already talked to you about video games, how she's tore up video games. In the next recording, I'll bring it up and I'll talk to you a little bit more about it again, but it's not anything you don't already know. I probably already have it in the recordings online. So that's all for this recording.